Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Shall we begin with some comments?
Good idea, Shane.
These are comments that were left on our channel throughout the years. I get that you love him, but he is a burden.
That's nice.
Make no mistake, caregiving to an invalid is always a burden. Why would you even bring a child into this world? Look at the husband. The poor wife will have to take care of her husband and the baby and the household.
You're screaming. You're screaming.
Seriously, why did he even want to get married? Is he that selfish? Couldn't he control himself? Yeah, that was it. I was just like, marriage! I couldn't control it. I had to get married.
Oh my god.
Why would he burden her like this? Why would she even want to be with this man? There's no man left in this world but him.
This is definitely a man writing this.
Some humans are stupid and some are so damn selfish.
This is a man that is not married, right?
What a burden to put on the girlfriend's back.
I'm your wife. This is only written a year ago.
Yikes, alright, next. You're always a burden, Shane. Hannah just ignores it. Next.
Yeah, 10 years of us together. I just ignore it daily.
But he does gotta be a burden.
Oh, that's nice.
Alright, so
Today's topic, I wonder if you can guess it from those comments. What do they all have in common?
today we're talking about the idea that I am a burden because of my disability.
And that disabled people in general are burdens, as
Yeah.
you can see from the comments.
So we're going to talk about why that idea exists and how it plays out in my life and our relationship. So it's going to be a really fun video. First up, I would love to know, generally from all of you, examine yourselves really quickly. Have you ever felt like I am a burden to Hannah? And if you feel comfortable sharing, either proudly or not, let us know. Like, did you ever think that I'm a burden to Hannah? Do you think that they think? Like, I know that some of you do.
I know some of them
Some of the comments are, but like...
I think some people don't. I think some people see how we both support each other and the ways that we split responsibilities in our lives. And I think some people definitely see it. But yeah, I'm sure some people will share their thoughts about how you're a burden.
I think a good number of people don't think I'm a burden.
Yeah.
And I appreciate all of you. But I'm curious how you all feel. Hannah, when you first met me, did you worry that I was going to be a burden? And again, I'm asking this I don't know the answer, but I know the answer.
No, I mean, we had a lot of discussions about the idea that Shane was a burden coming from him, worrying that he would be a burden, especially when we were moving in together. I feel like that's when it came up a lot. When we were long distance and I would visit and do caregiving, we were just so excited. It was very clear that it wasn't a burden. But then when we were moving in together and we were discussing logistics of
real life,
when I would have class and swim practice and whatever I was doing, no, I never thought it would be a burden. We definitely figured out plans and talked about what Shane would handle and what I would handle in the house when we first moved in together, but
we were always just more excited to figure out.
Yeah, I mean, it was so exciting. There wasn't a tinge of worry or burdensome stuff. It was just so exciting.
I feel and I'm so fortunate that, Hannah has never treated me like a burden, and as you're hearing a bit, has been instrumental in helping me not feel like a burden. But there is this idea in society that some people hold that disabled people are a burden on those around them. I feel it probably, all the negative disability stuff goes back to the
media portrayals
years ago when the media portrayed disability very differently, and disabled people were often sent away to institutions where I can see how this construct of a disabled person being a big load to carry, metaphorically speaking, became a thing.
Yeah.
I also think I think back to my childhood and moments where going on a school field trip, the big fun exciting moment was always the bus ride. Everyone loved the bus ride because you could goof off and sit with your friends and be silly. And I couldn't ride the big bus because it didn't have a ramp. I had to ride a different bus that was accessible. And so I remember moments where the teacher would assign a few of the students to my bus so I didn't have to ride alone. And seeing their faces and expressions drop and like see them go, oh, and not because they didn't like me or, you know, like it wasn't like that. It was just that the big bus with everyone being included with the whole group was more fun than riding the little bus with the ramp. And I get how that, to a kid that doesn't understand, can feel like, oh, disability and difference are a bad thing and a burden. And
I mean, also like if the main bus had just had the lift, then the problem would have been solved. Like
absolutely,
the fact that you
yeah.
had to ride a different bus is really like the core issue.
Yeah. So you know, I get it. Like I fault our world and our media for their portrayal of disability, but I think we have enough examples today, hopefully our channel included, that disability need not be a burden on loved ones.
Yes.
All right, we're going to take a minute to quickly thank our sponsor, but then when we get back, we're going to talk about how my burden complex affects our marriage and how I've been handling it in therapy lately, and where we're going from there. So thank you to Duro Therapy for sponsoring this video. As I mentioned, I've been talking about my burden complex with my therapist a lot this year, and it's been so helpful for me to get a better understanding about this difficult thing that I experience. And we want that for everyone. We want people to access, you know, better clarity about their mental health, and Duro Therapy is making mental health more accessible and affordable than ever before.
Yeah, you can book an appointment in as little as 2 days, and you can filter the therapists by things like identity, gender, faith, and more. So you can pick the therapist that best fits your needs. Plus, sessions average $21 with insurance, with some paying as little as $0 depending on their plan.
Yeah, you pay per session, and there are no subscriptions or hidden commitments.
Go to growtherapy.co/squirmyandgrubs or scan the QR code to find your dream therapist.
Thank you again to Grow Therapy for sponsoring today's video. And we'd love to hear from you if you found therapy to be helpful and empowering. It's great to share stories about mental health.
Yes. So now back to our video.
Let's get back to it. Hannah, how would you rate my burden complex today out of 10? 10 being the worst it's ever been, 0 being I don't have a burden complex. My burden complex, you know.
You rate it in your head. I want to know what your rating would be.
I just for context, when I met you, I would say it was probably like an 8.
Yeah, I would have said 8
or a 9.
I would have said 8 or 9.
Okay, good that we have that context.
Yes.
And this is just like how much I worry about other people feeling burdened by me. After really focusing on it in therapy for a while, okay, I have a number. What's your number? 3, 2, 1, 4.
Aww, cute.
That's cute.
I was really stuck between 3.5 and 4. I was like, oh my god, but I think 4.
Alright, so just why do you think? Why
4?
Yeah.
Because I feel like it comes up sometimes, but it's not super often.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't give you a 0. Like, so yeah, I think 4, like little moments, but it's not a huge thing.
I think when we began thinking about making this video, my gut reaction was, oh, I get to go on and tell them I don't really have a burden complex anymore. Like I'm a 0. But the more I thought about it, it does still come up.
Yeah.
Every week. Like there was always a time when I asked you for something after you've just sat down.
Yeah.
And I get this pang of like, oh, I should have asked her while she was still up.
Yeah.
Or
if it's like your third different kind of dessert, sometimes you'll start to feel like you'll be like, are you upset that I'm having another dessert?
I think something that we found to be like in the beginning of our relationship, I would often ask for help and then immediately begin apologizing.
Yeah.
No matter his reaction. And that was unhealthy. Today, I think they do a much better job of checking in about Hannah's mood and then knowing with confidence that, like, if she's in a good mood, I could ask for help and then, like, don't feel this need to be like, sorry.
Yeah.
You know? Like, I still check in with you, and I still, when I ask for a lot in a row, I still am like, oh.
Yeah.
But it's not just like every time I need help,
Mm-hmm.
I'm apologizing to you.
Mm-hmm.
We just talk about it a lot.
Yeah. I think the main way to combat the burden complex in general is to talk about it. And I can tell when Shane is like, you know, it's not like he's like, I'm feeling my burden complex all the time. Like, we never really say that out loud.
Yeah.
But I can tell when he's like,
I feel bad.
Yeah. And I can be like, stop.
Yeah, and like, I do feel really grateful that I can talk to Hannah about it. I know other disabled people that don't feel as comfortable expressing, you know, their worries about being a burden to others around them. Like, I've been emailed by people 1,000 times saying that they are a burden to their family or their loved ones, and I so badly want to, like, tell them in the way that I needed it told to me, that you're not a burden, and to believe the people in your lives when they tell you that you're not a burden, because they wouldn't lie to you. You know, they love you and they want to be helping you, and that's what I've been working on in therapy, is like reminding myself that I trust Hannah, I love Hannah, you know. If Hannah tells me I'm not a burden, I believe her, because I believe her about everything else in life. And that's just it's an empowering feeling to be able to sometimes these days ask for help and not feel like I need to curl up inside myself afterwards.
Okay, while I was editing, we remembered something that we forgot to say and wanted to just add in really fast. There are people who have a difficult time caregiving for disabled people. There are disabled people that don't have support. They feel like burdens. That is a very, very real thing. And we just want to say that our society creates this idea that disabled people are burdens and then does absolutely nothing.
Reinforces the idea.
Almost encourages, like, there's no support for caregivers. There's no support for disabled people. Like, the structural assistance is not there in this country.
Yeah.
So that is a real thing, but it is not like an inherent issue with disabled people. It is an inherent issue with society.
Absolutely. I got so caught up in talking about my own burden complex that we missed this important point that's important to us.
Yes.
So.
Just popping this in.
Well said, Hannah. Like, I can proudly say, hey, Hannah, may I have a sip of my coffee?
Wow.
Like, actually.
It's not in here, Shane.
Is that one empty?
That's not your coffee from today. I don't know what that is.
Oh, no.
Shouldn't leave cups strewn around. Your coffee is sitting on its charger. It's in your warming cup. Do you remember?
I'm being a burden. Oh, no.
You're not being a burden, but your coffee's just not here. There are other issues.
All right, everyone. You know, I think this is an interesting conversation, and I think we need to remember that disabled people are not burdens when they need, you know, accommodation to do things differently.
Yes.
Like ride the bus that has a ramp.
Yeah.
All right. Have a great day. We will be back soon.
See you next time.